Okay, everybody, I wanted to give you a very quick look again at Autodesk Sketchbook. If you're using a different app, that's on you, but there are certainly some similarities. And I want to talk about color, though, in particular. As you can see here, I've got my drawing for one of my color compositions, and I'm going to paint it here in Sketchbook. And so I just wanted to talk to you about this. So I'm using my complementary color scheme. I'm in kind of a yellow-violet complementary scheme, and I'm going mostly with tints. So I'm still kind of working out just what that means as I go along. But you can see I've just started to, add color. I'm just using my two fingers to zoom, pinch, and sort of spread to zoom in and out. So you can see I've just started to add color. I'm kind of just experimenting with color a little bit. The layers palette is, let me see if I can, so the layers palette is over here on the right. Shoot, hold on. Just need to make my pencil tip a bit bigger so you can see it. So the layers palette is over here on the right of the screen. Up here at the top of the screen is, remember, is the back button. So this back arrow kind of will undo stuff. Again, pinching or spreading my fingers to zoom in and out. I use the layers palette over here on the right of the screen to add new layers, and you can see each of my colors is in a layer. So if I use the little eyeball icon and hit it, you can see it hides and shows the color layer. You see that? Whoops. I zoom in here, it hides or shows that color layer. I've got this violet, light violet, kind of pinky violet color on its own layer. And of course the photo itself is on its own layer. I'm just tapping the little eyeball over here, that little eyeball icon. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to show you in terms of color, very important that the color chooser is up here, right? That's the color chooser. It could be in a different place on your screen. If you click on the color swatch, that round, color, it shows you the chooser. The ring around the outside is the hue. I can choose any of these hues, and you can see it changes. I can just drag it, actually. It changes the swatch that's over there. And then in the center is value and intensity. Greatest intensity on the right, which is where it is right now. As I move to the center, it gets less and less intense. All the way over here, it's just gray, right? In the middle, it's kind of somewhat grayed out. And then, of course, if you go up, it's a tint. And if you go down, it's a shade. You go all the way down, it's black. All the way up, it's white. So hue is around the outside, and value and intensity are determined in the middle. So I've got my hues. I want a yellow, kind of yellow-green hue. And I'm going to turn down the intensity because I'm working with tints. I want a tint. And so once I've got my color selected, I can zoom in here. I guess it wasn't a yellow-violet. I was sort of on the violet side of red and on the yellow side of green. It's not yellow-violet. I guess I'm doing a red-green complementary pair. Now, if I've got a color down here and I like it and I want to start with that, this is really important. I want to show you this. So if you look up here, I'm going to hit this again, hit this color palette. This eyedropper tool, upper right corner, the eyedropper tool, if I click on that, see how it gives me this little, looks like a crosshair? Whatever color I put that on, it chooses it. So boom, if I'm back to my pink, my sort of cool pink, that's what I want. Sometimes you want to choose a color that's there and kind of pick up from that point. What happens right now, I checked, if I were to hide my drawing, this pink is too dark, and frankly, the warm green is too dark. These are not tinty enough for me. I can't quite tell when the drawing's behind it, because compared to the drawing, they're fairly light, but if I hide the drawing, they get dark. So I want to start with this color. So use the eyedropper to choose that color, but then I want it to be lighter still. Okay. Now, I'm in the pencil tool right now. I often use what's called the technical pen tool. You have to play around with the tools over here on the left and see which which paintbrush works for you. Since we're doing kind of crisp edges, I want something, I don't want like the spray paint tool. You know, if you look at this brush, this is spray paint. Yeah, hold on, I gotta get in the right layer here. See how soft that is? You can really barely see it. Hold on, let me back up. Let me get rid of the drawing. So if I paint with this, you see how, why isn't that working? Well, what's up? Oh, it is painting there. You can see how soft it is. The flow airbrush just really is kind of a very soft area. That's not going to work for us. You know, the technical pen I like, because it lets me show the drawing again. Again, yeah, it's light enough. It lets me really. It's like I'm using a small paintbrush. You know, I can make a nice crisp edge. I can get my shape in. Remember how you can control the opacity and the thickness of your brush. So over here, this little slider makes your brush bigger or smaller, right? And this little slider here turns the opacity up and down. My recommendation with digital is that you have it somewhat opaque, but not all the way, you know, 85, 90%, maybe a little less. What this allows is for the paint to seem, so I got a smaller brush now, I can get a little more precise. It allows for your digital painting to be just kind of somewhat like real painting, if it's just a little bit transparent. I think going around and kind of getting the edges first, and then I could make my brush larger and fill in the inside a little bit more quickly. And again, go up here, slide it down, and I can get my edges better. Another important drawing tool, and I'm almost done here, is your eraser. So you can see that however precise I am with this pink, my green is not very precise. If I go into my green layer and use the eraser, so the eraser's down here. See that? So if I get the eraser and make sure it's small enough, I can go into the green and I can erase it kind of right up to that point. So you kind of like put some colors down and take some colors up. Again, if I hide the drawing, it really shows me. So I got to go like back into my pink layer and fix up that edge a little bit. You don't want holidays. Holidays are when you've got like a kind of a white space between things. So this is just like with mixing color physically with paint. You're going to get better at it, and it's going to go faster as you go along. Okay, thanks.